Each of us has an opinion of our own, and whether it is a fact or an opinion, we must learn how to embrace our differences of our views because through our differences, we learn to thrive as an individual in a diverse society. Our acceptance of one's views help us learn more on issues we are not familiar with. Good day, grade 7 learners. Today we shall be having Module 8, in which we shall learn how to raise sensible, challenging, thought-provoking questions in public forums or panel discussions, taken from the most essential learning competency of the Department of Education. But before we go on with our lesson, let me introduce myself. I am Mrs. Karen A. Macalale, your teacher for today. Join me in this joyride of learning. Fasten your seatbelt, it will surely be a roller coaster ride. Are you ready? Let's go. At the end of the session, you will be able to formulate thought-provoking questions and sensible ideas on a given topic, and show skills in expressing an idea on a given topic following the procedure of a panel discussion. Your knowledge about facts and opinions from Module 7 is needed in this lesson, especially as you engage in a panel discussion where you were expected to present your ideas and raise thought-provoking questions. Let's have a review. A fact is a piece of information presented as having objective reality, while on the other hand, an opinion is a judgment or appraisal formed in the mind about a particular matter. Now, this too would definitely help us in our today's discussion, which is about panel discussion. A panel discussion involves sharing of different viewpoints of a group on a specific topic. It consists of an instructor, moderator, panelists, and an audience. Let us start our lesson with a mini game. Have your pen and paper handy so you can follow my lead. The title of our game today is My Role or Yours, and you just need to categorize the tests that I'll be giving, whether you think it fits for men, for women, or for both. And based on your own perspective, you need to explain why you think it fits for men, for women, or for both. Are you ready? Let's start. Task number 1, doing household chores like washing, cooking, or cleaning. Task number 2, providing food and basic necessities for the family. Task number 3, building houses, high-rise buildings, and bridges. And the last task, taking care of children at home. Now that you have shared your views on which task fits for men and women, let's read an interesting story entitled Why Women Wash Dishes, written by Philomena Colen-Rino. The author addressed the issues on gender roles in the society, specifically the role of husband and wife in the family. And although the issue seems complicated and sensitive, the author presented it in a comical way through the characterization of the couple Kaugong and Kamada. After reading the story, share your perspective on the issue. Why Women Wash Dishes, written by Philomena Colendrino. In the town of Santa Rosa, there once lived a couple named Hugo, also known as Kaugong, and Imelda, also known as Kamaldang. Every mealtime, they quarreled over the chore of washing the dishes. Imelda would scold Hugo if he refused to wash the dishes. Sometimes she would become angry and call him names. And if he talked back, she would get a coconut meager broom and chase him with it. One day, just as they were finishing their lunch, Ka Ugong announced that he will no longer wash the dishes anymore. Kamaldang threw a fit of rage and chased Ka Ugong with a broom. She yelled at him how lazy he was for a man, while Ka Ugong hid himself under the table to evade getting hit by the broom. Ka Ugong proposed a wager to settle the matter. Let's stop quarreling over the plates. Let's have a wager. The first one who talks after I'd said begin will wash the dishes. Always. Only that, said Kamadam. Agreed. All right, are you ready? Begin, said Kaubo. They both fell silent. They sat at the table, looking at each other. A neighbor came to borrow an axe from the couple. The neighbor saw the couple sitting silently at the table and made no response to his questions. Did you eat something poisonous? The compadre asked. He shook each one alternately, but still neither stood up nor talked. The neighbor was alarmed. He told them that something terrible had happened to his compadre Ugong and comadre Mandang. The neighbors gathered at Kamadang's dining room. They took turns trying to make them speak, but the two continued to sit staring at each other in silence. The compadre decided to call the village herdman. The village herdman declared that they were bewitched. He suggested that they must be buried to prevent the malady from happening to them also. They put Kaugong in a coffin. Kaugong did not protest, thinking he can just get out of the grave once his neighbors were gone. He was sure he would win the wager. When the neighbors tried to put Kamaldang in the coffin, she shouted, "Don't touch us! Get out! Get out of my house! Shame on you for coming here, meddling with our lives!" Kaugong leaped to his feet. He also shouted, "You talk first!" He jumped about, clapping his hands and saying to the astonished neighbors, "She talked first. We had a wager. Now she will always wash the dishes." All right. What a funny story. And the characters were ridiculous, right? Fighting over something that seems so petty. And it's even more ridiculous on how they resolve their conflict. And to test if you really understood the story, let's try to answer these questions. For our first question, what was the reason for Kaugong and Kamadang's argument? Right, that is the correct answer. They quarreled over the chore of washing the dishes every mealtime. How did they solve their argument? Very good. That is the correct answer. They resolved their argument by a wager. Whoever speaks first will do the dishes always. Third question. Did they settle their argument the right way? Why or why not? That's a really good answer. Unfortunately, no. They even come up with a wager just to resolve their conflict. A wager is not the right way to settle an argument. People should talk rationally and learn to compromise in order to come to an agreement. And for our last question, if you were to give your opinion, how would you solve their argument? That is a good point. And we may have different opinions on every issue, but one thing to avoid conflict is by showing respect and learning to compromise. If I were one of the characters in this story, I would definitely settle it by simply compromising. My husband and I can take turns doing dishes. Remember, chores is not only for women. Doing little things to help someone is an act of love. Wait, there's more. We are not yet done. And since we are already in the new normal setup, the face to face panel discussion is not possible. In distance learning, the setup is no longer the same, but we can still have our panel discussion via Google Meet or Zoom. Let's have an example, and here's a snippet of it.
Good day, everyone. My name is Alda Meiji Igmet. Today, we will present to you a panel discussion. For this activity, I will act as the instructor. As an instructor, it is my role to plan and organize the whole event to make the panel discussion a success. Part of my task is to assign specific role for each member. The role of the moderator is to keep the discussion on the theme and encourages interaction among the members. Panelists give their views about the topic or the theme. Lastly, an audience can give views or questions to seek clarification on the theme. Let us now proceed to our panel discussion. May I call on our moderator, Ms. Jakia.
Good day! My name is Jakia Kishat-Siberino and I am your moderator. For our panel discussion, we will have a lively exchange of views on gender roles of men and women in a traditional society and in a modern society. For our house rules, each panelist will be given the maximum of 1 minute to share his or her ideas on the topic. While a panelist shares his or her views, the other panelists should not interrupt. The audience will also be given time to ask their questions, only after all the panelists have shared their opinions. To formally introduce to you all our panelists, we have Excel, JC, Alan, and Janella. The rest of the members will be our audience. To first give her views on the gender role of men and women in a traditional society, we have JC.
Traditional society, women are expected to be a wife, a parent, and the one who's in charge of taking care of the house. Women were expected to be gentle, decent, and quiet. And on the other hand, men, in a traditional society, were expected to be in charge of providing for his family's needs, protecting and leading the family.
Thank you. JC have gave her views on the gender roles of men and women in a traditional society. Now let's hear Excel's views on the gender role of men and women in a modern society.
The issue on gender role in the modern society has significantly changed. Gone are the days where women just stay in the house. Although some still find it unacceptable for a woman to have a paid job outside the home. Women are now more independent and have more choice than just staying at home to take care of the family. Moreover, men nowadays are also more open-minded to accept the fact that it will not make them less of a man if they will do chores which are usually done by women.
You know, it's quite interesting that the perspective on gender roles of men and women in a traditional society and in a modern society differ. Let's hear it from Janella. Is there a difference in job opportunities between men and women?
Absolutely. I just want to add to what Axel said about the opportunities for women nowadays. Although women are moving into jobs that used to be done by men, it's just sad that until now they are often paid lesser than men. Opportunities for women to grow is not the same as for men.
Thank you, Janella. How about you, Alan?
I definitely agree, but at least we can say that our society is now more open-minded on the issue on gender role. In fact, gender should not dictate what you can or can't do. Take for example the male-dominated jobs like engineering, military, and computer-related jobs. These jobs are taken by women as well. There are also jobs that are associated with women but are done by men. There are now men who are working as makeup artists and hairdressers. Examples are the first two female generals in PCG. One of them, who is Commodore Luz Escarilla, said that our promotion is a blessing and an answered prayer, for it proved that women are as equally efficient as men. Even in male dominated organizations such as the Philippine Coast Guard. In short, gender does not limit you to pursue your dreams and interests.
Thank you, panelists. We are getting close at the end of our discussion. Let's now take questions from the audience. For our first question, it is from Cedric.
Thank you, Ms. Chiquilla. What I want to know is, do you agree that men are stronger than women in general?
I'll be more than happy to answer that question. In my point of view, the belief that men are stronger than women doesn't exist anymore. Strength is not measured by one's resilience, power, and independence. All humans are given different strength and expertise to use, and most importantly, to share to the world. A true mark of one's strength is to be able to illuminate one's inner strength and confidence in tough times. However, if we talk about physical strength, yes, men are stronger, of course.
Thank you. Our next question is from Chloe.
Thank you, Ms. Chiquilla. Well, for my question is, why do you think there is a need to specify the roles of men and women in the society?
I'll catch that question. In today's generation, both men and women are given the opportunity to express oneself and do things equally. But there are certain exemptions to be considered. There are things that only men can do and vice versa. Specifying one's role in the society doesn't imply unjust treatment. It's just a matter of how you perceive your role, how would it affect you as an individual, and on how you give your best towards your role.
Thank you for answering. Our last question is from Nika.
Thank you, moderator. My question is, what do we expect about the opportunities given or rules for men and women today?
I can answer that question. Nowadays, both men and women are on the same page. With this, no one will be left out. Opportunities will be for everyone. Although, there are still variables that would hinder women to work opportunities, but that doesn't mean that they are not qualified. At the end of the day, a person's personal preference is the key factor in determining whether he or she will seek out and engage in paid work.
Thank you for that answer, Ellie. I really wish we have more time to explore more in our discussion, but we do not have enough time. Nevertheless, what an exciting exchange of views. I really hope that our viewers were able to get some great ideas. Thank you for listening. We really do appreciate your interest in this very important issue. Have a good day, everyone!
For your next activity, talk with your respective group to plan for your panel discussion presentation. Assign each group member for a specific role for your panel discussion. Your teacher may choose a topic for your group. And based on that topic, present your ideas and arguments by raising sensible questions, stating facts, or your opinion. So, how's your joyride in learning? Did you guys enjoy it? I hope so. It was really fun being with you today. And now, for your last activity, I want you to get your modules and answer the reflective learning sheet. Write a reflective learning on panel discussion by answering the questions inside the box, and you may express your answers in a more critical and creative presentation of your great learning. Have fun and enjoy. This has been your teacher, Mrs. Karen Macalale, telling you to go beyond your limits in chasing your dreams and never stop learning. See you again next time for another learning experience with me in your English class. Goodbye, everyone, and take good care of yourselves.